Yeah,
Okay,
guys.
awesome. Um, Thank you so much, guys, for joining another Lights On discussion. So this week we'll be discussing the 1969 Algerian French film about Greek politics. The film called Z. Um, so okay, so let's start. Uh, let's see who wants to go first.
I'll go first.
Go on.
Yeah, I like the movie. Uh, First thing is today's session I wanted to attend because the politics or war related. I didn't understand what's happening at all. I'm totally blank on that aspect. So I know that you'll be giving lot of history on that, and it should be definitely today. It should be interesting, right? So that's mainly I joined it. And as a movie, the movie is so good. It's like within few minutes, within just like 5 or 10 minutes I was into the movie. Even before introducing the character, we saw a group of people, they are planning to conduct a meeting or something, but by then I was intrigued, like I was like what is going to happen next, what's going on, kind of that interest came in. So the movie immediately I just got into it. That is one thing. And the music, I love the music. It is like for a thriller, or if something is happening, if some murder is happening, for that they gave some hype kind of music. That was so different. The movie in this the music in this movie, I find it very different, and it was so good, for it worked out well for me. And character wise, actually some places it was funny. So the guy who got admitted in the hospital, he want to come in the newspaper just because someone else came in the newspaper. So for that he got admitted, and he want to tell the truth. So for him nothing else matters, telling the truth or bringing the justice or anything. For him the main thing is he just want to be in the newspaper, and he want to become popular. So small things like that, that were funny as well. And I love that part how they made it. That was so good. And there were a lot of now we can see a lot of movies, they'll be saying they are creating the old 60s 70s things. So everyone will be having that haircut, the bell bottom pants and everything. But in this movie really we can see a lot of aspects. It's like you went to that era. So it is like there was a vehicle which was watering the plants, and there was one watch which that wife of the doctor, she was having that watch closed. So small things, it is not, they didn't show them intentionally, or it doesn't help the movie in any way, but you can see the things in the surroundings. That also I liked it so much. And the movie they kept engaging, the storyline was engaging for me. And even the place where the wife comes in, when she comes in, within few seconds they we know that she is feeling bad for his for her husband, and there is problem going on. Within few seconds we were able to relate to her. They didn't show any background of their relationship or anything, just few scenes, but within the small time they made us feel the same thing. So I felt the movie, that point of view, it was really good. Whoever watches, even though I don't know the background of the politics or anything deep, any historical facts or anything, just about the characters, I was able to relate to the movie. So I loved that one. So in the movie, the for me, what didn't work out is like initially the number of characters. I was, even also it is different language, so I was not able to connect because I didn't even know who is who. Who is this group? Who is the other group? Or who is the thugs? What's going on? So only after some point I get to know that. So that is the only downhill I have. Other than that, everything is. I love the movie.
So,
What?
couple of
Okay then.
questions. Did it bother you that they showed uh, the doctor who's the guy who's the left party's deputy who's actually getting murdered. He's shown as someone having an extramarital affair, and all that. Did that really bother you at any point, or you did not really
I
um,
didn't know
think
that
that?
he had extramarital affair at all.
Actually, yeah, I too didn't understand that from the movie, but I read it in Wikipedia that they are trying to show him as a as a normal person, like something like that. I read some.
Yeah, because now only came to know.
Okay. Yeah, that I was okay. I was just curious.
I
Yeah,
don't know, but with did they show the affair or with whom, which part it came?
because so he looks at so when he's standing in front of the building and he looks at there is a girl standing there. I felt like that scene was completely out of the blue.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
was
Actually, that scene even I felt that, but I thought initially I thought like, okay, this guy is the bad guy. As I was saying, till at that point, I didn't even know who is good, who is bad, or anything. What's happening? So I thought, okay, this guy is some bad guy. He's a corrupt politician or something like that. But after the way he went inside and started speaking, he got by then it completely, I totally forgot that scene. So it didn't even come to my mind.
okay. Okay, good. Okay, cool, cool. Okay, so we have a stranger in the house. So welcome back, stranger. For a change, why don't you go next?
I don't remember the film much, but as far as I remember, when I initially watched, I enjoyed it very much. It had a strange coincidence. Shanghai released in 2015, around a decade back. It was by Dibakar Banerjee, and the trailers were great. And before watching the movie, I had the habit of, if it's inspired by a book or if it's inspired by some other film, I used to watch that film or a book before going to the movie. That mostly spoils the film experience. The whatever I'm going to go for this one, I interestingly watched instead of Z, I watched M. There's another film called M. So I watched, and M is actually a great film. And throughout Shanghai, I was trying to find what is the interference, what's the theme which he is trying, whether it is similar to M. Because Dibakar Banerjee was a great director, I thought maybe he did it in such an underlying theme that I didn't understand what was meant. And after 2 years, when I watched this film by chance, I understood that this is the film which is actually inspiration for Shanghai and not M. So that was an interesting thing when I was watching Shanghai. Shanghai as such was a boring film. I didn't like much when I watched it in the theaters. But this one was lovely. Generally, uh, the type of political films which I like is um, I forgot the name. I think Ford. I guess. Who's the guy who made most JFK?
Oliver Stone.
Yeah, Oliver Stone. Yeah, I like Oliver Stone's film. Mostly it would be documentary, and he would be telling most of the story in the film itself. You need not read something to get to know. But because we won't, I won't be knowing much of the history of what has happened. I would be reading and finding it out. But this film, like, it was like out of syllabus. It was total fun, right? It was whether it is good or bad, it's totally fun. Whatever the film was trying to do. So I enjoyed it pretty much. I enjoyed it almost to the climax. But the film is for climax. The 2-3 minutes climax which happens is what made the whole film. That's because of that part. I enjoyed the whole film more than anything. And I thought this had Gael Garcia, the Babel actor. Did it had I don't remember it much. The guy from Itu Mama Tambian and Babel, was that guy featured
No,
in this?
no, 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 no.
No, no.
So
Okay.
the guy who's coming as the photographer, right? He's the guy who comes as director in Cinema Paradiso.
Okay, okay. Maybe
So Cinema
did they look
Paradiso
similar,
la
or it's just
hmm?
I have confused with someone. They didn't look similar. I remember
No,
this film.
he's the
Quite
come again,
bad.
come again.
No, I thought this film had Gal Garcia, or maybe I remember some other film, or there was some similarity between the lead actors.
This is
I
very old. Gael
right.
Garcia is more. He's
Yeah, yeah, two
young.
K.
This is a
Yeah,
1969 film.
okay. Yeah. So that was my vague remembrance of the movie. But when I had watched, I remember enjoying it very much. I couldn't rewatch it again.
So one more thing I want to say is the disclaimer they put right initially. If
But like,
any coincidence to the living character or so, that is not coincidence. It is intentional. So even by then they started how it is going to be.
this film actually didn't look like a film which was made in 1969, right? Even
Yeah.
by the looks of it, the way it didn't look old to me. It looked
Actually, they remastered it very well, I guess. It looks like a newly taken movie, but set in 1969,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
something like
correct.
that.
It looked like early 90s movie. It didn't look like 69 movie at all for me.
Did didn't you feel like that had the same kind of um, tone as that Lay Samurai and films like that? Because I felt like the coloring was very similar to Lay Samurai, the kind of coloring that you see in All the President's Men. That times Hollywood films.
Maybe
Then
it has that French
the
affiliation, a kind of French affiliation. I don't know. Maybe this guy, director is inspired from Godard or someone. I'm not very sure. I get what you're doing. But
mm,
that slight blue grayish tinge you are saying, right? Which
mm, mm.
but Les Samurai had it pronounced, and but by the tone, maybe the coloring, yeah, yeah, I can accept a bit, but the film tone is not at all like that, right? Film tone was total fun. I found it to be a very fun film. It was not. It was uh, the way Lay Samurai makes you feel is when the film happens, you'd be parallelly thinking something in your mind, right? In Lay Samurai, you'd be thinking something. You'd be even thinking what you are going to talk on next Saturday. But this film was not like that, right? It was totally entertaining. It was at the moment film I felt. It was.
That's true. That is very true. That is very true. This
I,
the,
I
the
I don't know
tone,
why, but
tone was
I
similar
like
to Battle of Algiers. Actually, there is a film called Battle of Algiers. It's kind of
yeah.
a it's a French Algerian film by an Italian director. It talks about the war in the French occupation of Algeria, and how the French government is combating the resistance. So
Okay, Battle
this
of Algiers is that film which that famous step shot is there, right? That's the film I
yeah,
think.
yeah. That's that had the I mean the best part. Just to digress a bit, that had one of the best opening shots, where they show, it's a kind of a single shot where they first show the rich and posh areas where the French are living, and the camera pans towards the slums of Algeria, where you see the common people living there. So both happens in a single shot. That is the opening sequence. Uh, that is very well done. This film had kind of, um, I don't know why I felt like the film is similar. The uh, Battle of Algiers, even amidst um, very tragic ending, it has a very hopeful end. That revolution is not something that is restricted to people, and even if the people die, revolution will somehow find a way to uh, happen. Kind of a kind of a very uh, uh, moralizing ending. Okay, this one had a very demoralizing ending, but still I felt like both the films had a similar tone throughout. That was, I think, even when I was watching it on OTT, when I opened this film, the first option that was coming as related films was Battle of Algiers. I think that is what it made me think like that. Okay.
Generally, when a film like this, which changes its tone completely in the end, would not go well with the audience. But I feel this I guess pretty much every one of us liked it, right? The way even though it was harsh and it was on the face, and it completely changes the tone. Like we would be watching it in a flow, suddenly it will be like something. It's like you are writing an essay in 4 pages, but you don't have enough page, so you are trying to complete that essay in fourth page. Something like that they'll be doing, but it was intentional. I understand, but it wouldn't have spoiled that for anyone, I believe, right? Even though it was sarcastic and on the face.
Actually, speaking of the tone of the movie, I felt more. I don't know why this was like blow up to me. Blow up here. The guy they were showing on, he should be fun, but none of us liked it, right? But yeah, I was expecting this kind of fun there. Maybe the music or for me, it reminded more of blow up. The tone or treatment of the movie.
No, this movie, maybe the fun it would have worked because it was more purposeful, right? Whatever scenes were happening, each scene had some meaning, and it was moving a film in a certain way. Blow Up was not like that. Blow Up, we didn't know what was happening. It was all in his head, and we couldn't get what he was trying to do.
Yeah,
That
but
was the
the
first.
tone kind of thing, I felt it
Yeah.
is similar to blow up
For
to me.
some reason, not now. Roma had not released it back then, but I remembered Roma when I was. Now I remember Roma when I think of this film. Any of you guys who have seen that film had a similar impact? I think Ashwin, you liked that movie, right? Roma. I didn't like the movie first of all, but for some reason, the maybe the all the carnage there in the Roma, there was the wide angle shots are all that reminded me of it.
You're asking me something?
Yeah, I was telling while thinking of this movie, it reminded me of Roma. I don't know why. It reminded me of Inari 2 movies in general and Roma specifically. Did you
Yeah,
think?
I think because of the political aspects only. I think uh, uh, both Inarritu's film. I mean, I don't think Inaritu, but it was more. Um, Roma has a similar. It is set in the backdrop of the student union politics in Mexico. I think I think that is the reason why you might have felt like that. I was actually thinking about what what other films it reminds me of, but looks like there is a huge list of directors who got inspired from this film. Yeah, Steven Soderbergh, he said that his inspiration for Traffic was Z. Ben Affleck said his inspiration for Argo is this. So
Yeah, maybe
there's
Argo. Yeah, Argo. I can get a feel. I don't know why traffic, but Argo had
yeah,
is some similar thing.
yeah. Okay. Vijay, Suraj, you guys want to go next?
Okay, I will go. So I like the movie. I think mainly it worked because the politics. I mean, not the Greek politics. The main politics shown in the movie is universal, right? Government trying to suppress the opposition and police helping them. All these things are universal. It will happen anywhere in the world. So I think that connected well for me. But initially, around some 30-40 minutes, I didn't understand what actually they're up to. Like they were not speaking in a open, like they were not speaking what is actually happening in a. I don't know whether the subtitle has the problem or the dialogue itself was written like that, because they were referring the opposition as something like a disease, like some mildew they were saying. I was wondering what is that, and I took the dictionary and see so what is the meaning of the word. So I didn't first, yeah. So that language they are speaking was hard to understand initially, but later on I got connected to the well into the movie, and the moment that magistrate came and he's giving this police and all these people a shock, like he has some kind of evidence, like the opposite party was murdered. From that point, the movie took off very well for me. And there are so many points like this in between, like that magistrate getting the this guy, that right wing guy, to confess that he is in a secret group by manipulating him, and all those scenes. And finally, when the movie ended, they were again failing, like again the movie the same government came into power again, and they are banning the books, novels, etc., by the by so many others, Russian authors, I guess, mainly. So those kind of things. And like the whole I think the screenplay had intelligent points, like some high points to make us interested in the movie, and that worked very well for me. So overall, I like the movie. That's it.
Good, good. That ending was very interesting. So it had this Tolstoy's novels, Dostoevsky's novels, banned. I mean, it's like it's very funny. So see, one thing is, for me, the actual, whatever is the politics that they were inspired from, right? I don't think that matters one bit. Okay, so I feel like the idea is to show what happened to the world post World War II. Post World War II, on the backdrop of Cold War between the West and East, how everything um, everything panned out. How common people see the right wing thugs who are shown, right? They are not exactly the rich. They are as poor as the people that the left is fighting for, right? But still, how the establishment convinces the people on the right side of the political spectrum to I mean, how they make them believe that it is it is in their best interest to protect the status quo, protect their culture, religion, whatever it is. So I think that's what the film was trying to show. Um, so the politics should not really matter. I mean, as long as we understand the overall what is going on there, I don't think the specifics matter. I understand this each character might be based on some real life person. I could see that, and if you read Wikipedia, it will tell you who that doctor is based on. A Greek politician and anti-war pacifist back in the 60s. So it was based on him. The character that they show as prosecutor, that guy was I think he was the Supreme Court justice that time, who later went on to become the president of Greece. And correct me if I'm wrong, not even in one frame they will say that it is happening in Greece. I don't think any city is meant. They just mentioned, oh, how is it happening in our city? They never say the name of the city or name of the country. I don't think we see any flags. Do you guys remember seeing any flags? That Greek flag, or because funnily I actually thought it's a French. It's based on France. I thought, since they are talking in French, I thought it's a French film. So what? Whenever they say city, I thought it's they're showing Paris. Okay.
I was
If you are showing
thinking this.
Paris, why are you not showing Eiffel Tower and all that? So it took after then reading about the film. After that only I realized that it's based on Greek politics and all that. But there is no. So I think the intention of the film is to show how the left right politics is transpiring in that particular society. So that is the I loved. Sorry, Vijay, if you don't mind, shall I go continue with my
Yeah,
thing?
yeah, yeah.
Then
Please go on. Yeah, please go on.
see, I loved the film. Okay. I loved the film, except that ending. The ending. Uh, I'll just start with the ending. The ending is a beautiful scene. Make no mistake. Okay, how they show what happened to each person, and finally they show the reporter who is reporting this news being there. That is a great one. But I liked a better ending in a different film. So there is a film called Big Shot. It's about the 2008 recession in US. So there is a beautiful montage that comes towards the end with the voice of Ryan Reynolds in the voiceover. He says these are the I don't know if it's Ryan Reynolds or Ryan Gosling, one of them. So he says, okay, this recession pushed the Congress to pass these laws. These executives and bankers went to prison. So much money was new laws were passed to protect the economy. And there's a series of things he says. And then, okay, who am I kidding? None of that happened. And they use the taxpayers' money to bail themselves out. And the CEOs took hefty bonuses from that taxpayer money, and the number of people who went to prison for this poor schmuck, and they show one guy. Okay, so for me that felt much more um, uh, that was in line with the tone of that whole film, because there is a satirical tone throughout that film, which it was kind of gelling with that. This film, on the other hand, since it has a much more serious tone throughout, that the final ending, uh, you know obviously we know what is happening. So beyond what is beyond the complete demolition of democracy and everything, there is a very satirical and sarcastic tone in that final ending shot, which I felt like it was not gelling with the rest of the film. So I don't know. It just felt suddenly it was just bordering on the propaganda territory. I felt, which I feel sometimes films need not do that. But other than that, the film had an extraordinary structure to it, and the um, I don't know if it is because of the 1960s nature of the film that they were trying to avoid so much bloodshed. So the but even though they were avoiding the bloodshed, the way the guy is attacked, right? It just feels very real, which I really don't see that in a lot of films, even recent films. Sometimes that see we filmmakers seems to be using they're going to extreme lengths to show extreme violence to register the impact of something. But you don't need to actually do that. There is one example of that is he when he's walking out to that meeting from across the street, there is one guy in black t-shirt. He goes around this doctor, and I think he has that knuckle thing. I don't know the name of that one. So he comes, he wears that in his hands and beats him on the back of his head. That shot felt very, very real to me, and that felt more violent than you know than Visaranai and Vidudalai put together for me. So it felt very that violence was very, very real and very shocking. And the lot of those scenes were very, very, very realistic too. You know, some of the there is a I'll just quote a scene from Mamanan in Tamil, where there is Vadivel goes to the funeral of one of the local leaders with whom he had worked. The only thing is that leader is from a dominant caste, and Vadivel is not. So there is a scene where it's a very tense scene. You know, Vadivel is really heckled and attacked in that scene. Now that scene felt very, very. I would say there was so much tension in that scene. Now this one, the same level of tension, I would say into 10 when he's because you they have set the tone for how the mob is behaving, then how the police is behaving there. So you know exactly that the police is against them, the mob is against them. So and this guy has to walk through the mob to the other side and give that speech. So that scene was, I was expecting something horrible to happen there, but I was the way that scene was filmed was outstanding. I really loved it. And very briefly on the politics that is shown there. I love the first scene is actually where the politics, what the ideological politics is shown there. So you have the agricultural secretary talking about how the crops are being destroyed by infestations, and then you have the military secretary come there and talk about use the same analogy for communist and the left, which was I think that is the that 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 uh, that set the tone for me. So I got what this whole film was about. Um, so just to give a briefly about what is the politics that is going on in the film. See, it's set in your post World War, right? So what happened was World War. You had America, Britain, and Russia fighting the Nazis together. Now, Russians were communists. It was a communist government, and they were part of the Soviet Union. Now, you had U.S. and Britain, which is predominantly a capitalist country. Now, post World War, even during the war, they both U.S. and Russia knew that the the politics that is going to come after the World War is going to be between them. Now they they both did not fight any kind of a war directly. Everything was through um, everything was very secretive. One spying on the other, one having doing surveillance on the other, one trying to send people to the space, another person saying that we will send someone to the moon first, whether who has how many nuclear bombs. So these kind of things. So that is the reason why they called it a Cold War. It's not a war that happened in person, but it happened. Everything happened under the surface. Now the Cold War is always symbolized by one single wall, which was constructed between East and West Berlin. So basically, whatever on the west of Berlin, is that country became West Germany, and the other one became East Germany, and every country on the left east of that Berlin Wall were under the control of the Soviets. So you will see communist governments in all those areas. So Hungary, Poland, Czech Republic, and of course Russia and all that. And similarly, on the West, you will see predominant free market capitalism and all that. Now, on the backdrop of this, throughout the world, any left sympathizers are there. They were prosecuted. They were subjected to so much abuse. One example is what happened in Hollywood. So post World War, um, there was a the rise of McCarthyism in the US that led to anyone who is suspected of being a communist sympathizer. They were not given. Um, they were removed from their jobs. They were asked to attend, if they were famous, right? They were asked to attend hearings in front of Congress, and now they cannot arrest you for having a communist ideology, but they can ask you to attend a hearing and make you answer questions that you wouldn't want to answer. So when you don't want to answer those questions, you can be put in prison for obstruction of justice or things like that. So that happened. So one person that who really had a tough time with that was a guy called Trumbo. There is a film called Trumbo that you would have seen. He actually wrote Roman Holiday, Spartacus, and all that. But Roman Holiday, his name would not be credited because he was blacklisted in Hollywood that time. So this was the situation for any left sympathizers during that time. So that is what they are trying to show in this film, how the establishment is trying to crush any kind of left ideological uh, um, position. Now you will see this character, that prosecutor, the guy who's shown as the prosecutor, is a beautiful character. He is the one who's trying to um, he's trying to give this facade of being a democratic person. So you will see him until the facts of the case are clear. You will see him as um, uh, you know uh, a pro-democratic person, whereas you will see that military police and the chief of police, everyone, they are completely on the kind of a slightly autocratic. You will see the prosecutor who's trying to be a democratic person, and um, the sorry the and there is a magistrate who is actually investigating the case, who is an actual democratic person. He's not pretending to be a democratic person. He seems to be a very democratic person. Now the moment the facts of the case is clear, you will see the prosecutor taking a slightly, he will start moving towards the right, moving towards the establishment, because they don't want, everyone knew that establishment has a hand in all of this, but they don't want that news to come out. So he'll slowly start taking a position towards the establishment, and try to do a cover up. So it was brilliantly shown uh, how he slowly switches towards there. There is one film in Tamil that did a very similar beautiful thing, is Mauna Guru. I don't know if you remember that film was uh, I don't remember his name. The Udayanidhi's cousin.
Arun.
Arun. He was the hero. The only problem is that film tried to the way they tried it was amazing, but it just had a very caricaturesque actors doing that, so it did not work for me. But the idea was the same. The policeman tries to the police commissioner tries to take the side of justice, and he encourages Umar Yas's character to uncover everything. But the moment he knows now that his department is involved, he'll start taking a backseat. He'll start taking a backseat, and um, uh, so this that part in Z was amazing. And the last the attorney general.
Funny tidbit on that one. That film was remade in Hindi as Akira with a female protagonist. This guy, who's that lady? I forgot that name.
Sonakshi.
Sonakshi, yeah. Absolutely bonkers. There's no, you can't make that film with a female, right? The whole film is about that lethargy and the male and how he constantly criticizes people and all that. But that was made, I don't know why and how it was made. I saw a few scenes, it was totally unrelated, but it was made. Carry on.
Okay. So, and I love that final the attorney general who comes. So he comes and he talks about, it's okay. I understand what you are. I'll give you three options. You can put the people you want behind bars. But let's one, the accused should be punished. Two, the officers can be that is why do they have to face the court? Let it be that's an internal administrative matter. So let's talk it out. Let's have some kind of investigative commission within the department, and we'll sort it out. And the three, that is the most important thing for it, which is to punish the people who organize the rally. I'm like, wow. Now, this is a beautiful thing, and uh, till I think till that point um, is the film bordering on realism. Okay, uh, realism, and now right after that, I don't know. It just did not. Um, I understand that is realism, but the way I think it just took it to a little bit extreme paranoia. I felt I don't think the establishment would have allowed the situation to go out of hand right after this. So this is the point when the attorney general comes in. That is the point where if that prosecutor is not agreeing to his demands, that guy is going to be removed, replaced with a different prosecutor, and whatever they showed towards the end, right? Whatever options that the attorney general gave, those are the options that would have that I feel would happen in a democratic society. I think this film was trying to be a little bit more paranoid, like so many other films which bordered on the paranoia territory. Just trying to exaggerate this by saying that if all the witnesses who witnesses died right before the trial, and all that. So the because the magistrate is shown as someone who's smart. He's not just a democratic person. He's a smart guy. Now um, now he obviously knows what is the extent to which the people that he's trying to take a stand against can go. So that part, I understand this was a fictional account of a real life story, right? So everything but that part, I'm pretty sure it is realistic. But after that was just pure paranoia, and trying to take a very um, propaganda territory, and talking about what are the things that are banned and all that. It could have happened, but it just felt like uh, the film had already done its job. The filmmaker need not go one step further to to register his political beliefs on the film. The filmmaker has already done it implicitly throughout the film. I don't understand why filmmakers have to explicitly register their political allegiance this way. Yeah, I will rest my case with that. Yeah, Vijay, you can go for it.
Yeah. So for me, like in the beginning, like it was a political thriller, right? I just saw the synopsis and jumped into it. I also did not like understand the first those 10 minutes or something. I took some time to engage with that, but later on found out, okay, this is that kind of a movie where so it is based on real incidents and all that. So yeah, that's going on. And yeah, I mean, I liked it a lot. The thing like highlighted for me was like the editing of the movie. They brought in some random, some like we talked about the extramarital or something like the 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 politician whoever died. So he's other side of the face or something like that. So that was also shown from her his wife's point of view. So those kinds of like editing choices were pretty like interesting, and also like quick cuts were there when there is something she is trying to when there is a kind of flashback or something, they would just quickly cut it into and quickly jump cuts and all that. So that was something like yeah, that worked out. And apart from that, like the whole theme, yeah, like uh, the theme of the movie, like it is all the politicals, right? So um, I once it got ended, I went into the Wikipedia and studied the whole thing. Okay, so this is what it happens and all that. Okay, that's great. I mean, so when it is real, so I don't know, like I cannot put any opinions on that, but okay, this is what happened and all that. And apart from that, like it got a best film award in Oscars. So yeah, I was just wondering, like it got released in the 1969 or something, and somehow it uh, and this whatever regime happened, right, from 1963 to 1974, this military was in the power, and I don't know how they were able to uh, give this movie to the Oscars and submit it out there. Yeah, that was also a kind of circus they had to go through, which we see now in Iranian films, and I think yeah, Iranian films which we see a lot about that. Yeah, that was kind of interesting. Yeah, and apart from that, like the this theme, right? Like where there is a leftist, he's a good guy, and then there is a government which is bringing all the bad guys against him. This kind of theme we are very familiar, but I think many movies are already inspired unconsciously. I think from this kind of a movie, and it could be even the commercial movies that we have seen a lot, like somewhere in a village there is a bad there is a some who is a head of the village who is a very bad person, and there is someone who is rising against this person. So this kind of theme is there, but this is a different, where it is a very real thing, but and at the end the climax was something very shocking and very like twist kind of. Yeah, but I liked it.
Good, good. So um, one more thing I felt like the film could have done is uh, keep it little bit more um, um, see, if you see a film like Virumandi or Rashomon, right? I felt like this film could have used Rashomon effect a bit more, because you see you see slightly different versions throughout the film, right? So first you see the what the filmmaker wants us to believe as the what exactly happened. It is shown in minute details. Now when the chief of the military police, he says that it's a drunk driver who hit him and he went. Now I don't think there was any club used to beat him and all that. Um I felt like the film could have used Rashomon effect a bit more, even knowing that Rashomon had released, a lot prior to this than the filmmaker would have seen that. I feel like he could have kept, what exactly happened as a, leaving it to the audience, and not trying to, um, because this makes it very clear, this makes it without a shadow of doubt who's the good guy and who's the bad guy. Now this does not happen like this in real life, right? In real life, um, you know something happened, but no one knows the specific details of it. So a picture is put together based on eyewitness accounts. Now here the eyewitness accounts are completely different. So if the filmmaker had not shown what is there, what exactly happened, I'm pretty sure we would not have known, right? We would have been thinking that it's they are trying to, we I felt like the film, if it had taken an approach of not showing exactly what happened and then revealing it through the eyewitness accounts, I felt like that would have been very interesting. But I mean, not to take away anything from what the film has done, just felt as and more. I was just watching the film and was thinking about the film. I felt like they could have tried a slightly different approach, which would have had even better impact. I felt.
See, though, maybe they wouldn't have done that because they didn't want the suspense to happen. See, it's a film which is on the face. There's no hiding behind some wall saying that these are good, bad, and all that. And maybe the director was a gutsy as well as egoistic guy who wants to show what he wants to show. Okay, even in the entire film, if he had missed that point in that last 5 to 10 minutes, he wanted to again break that and put it on your face. That don't even think that this is some other movie. This is the movie which is intense what it tries to be. And I like the climax for the fact that he was not just trying to prove that he was not trying to insult the audience and prove he didn't want to give that extra 5 minutes just to make the audience understand that this is exactly what I wanted to make. He made that climax intention. See, the criticism which you gave is obviously it is going to come from critics. Okay, for when a film breaks its tone at the final minute, any film watcher would take a backseat, or any critic would criticize the film, saying that why do you want to spoil such a great movie in the end? It is not the first time which has happened. There are films which where the directors don't know to write and it ends up like this. But there are films which are intentionally made to showcase that this is what has been made. There's a film called as Aranyer Din Ratri by Satyajit Ray. Okay, the film takes it takes in a slow tone. It's mostly psychological and all that. Till that it's a 2 or 45 minute film. Till 2 or 30 minutes, it's like that. But suddenly, because that maybe the producers don't sell, or maybe he is not worried about producers, he is already a big name, just to showcase that. But in the last 10 minutes, he showcases that, see, this is in 2.5 hours he made a film like how it should be made, but in the last 10 minutes he showcases the film like how you guys are making. It's just like how KB made Nigel Getaway, right? There are people who have made, but this film, I don't think it's just to prove a point, but he wanted it in this style, I believe. He intentionally wrote it in this style, and he was ready to face the criticism also, I feel. I have not watched his other films, so I can't comment much on his style. But this film, I guess it was intentional, the whole way it just made.
Okay.
It didn't
Interesting.
work in Hindi. That's why I can understand why it's so special. This one Hindi, they made it, but by the time I was bored. By the time the climax came, I was bored. He couldn't make it. Maybe he was afraid or something. I don't know, but he couldn't make it properly. But this film, it will be engaging till the climax, but the climax sets the tone in a different way. It's just like a spark which comes in a cracker.
Actually, one more thing for me in the movie is the doctor, what happened to him, they didn't show, and even I didn't bother to think about it. The way the movies keep on moving, someone will beat him, and they'll show the three wheeler going away, and someone getting into it. So they'll just show that. Even I lost track of what happened to the doctor. The next scene will be like he's in surgery, and the wife comes, all those. Then finally, before the climax, there one guy he comes and say like, "What happened to the doctor?" Only by then I was like, "Yeah, we didn't even think about this. What happened to him exactly?" So that's one thing I observed.
Yeah. That could have been, that need not be true. So if we have to believe that whatever is shown to us in the first uh, 20-30 minutes is what actually happened, everything else that the eyewitness accounts are completely unreliable. So if you see, it's a the guy who's saying that he was then hit by so many people, and then there was a problem with the car driver. That car driver, I think one thing is they took it in the car. Yeah, they took him in that car. That much we know, because the car driver then gave a um, uh, in his eyewitness account, he said that he does not know the general and all that, right? So, but what exactly happened between the time that they took him inside the car and after he was hit by that three wheeler, right? That part is still blurry only. I'll not because see that
It
guy.
is believable, right? Like whatever he's saying, that part is believable. Even we cannot say whatever that happened exactly. That is his story. It can be a story or a lie or truth or
Yeah,
anything. But
correct.
it sets with the tone, like believable. It may have.
Correct. Correct. That character is shown in a very interesting thing, right? So he, இப்ப அந்த நாள் they show those the deputies of the doctor, right? So each person, one person says that we have to use this in a political context. We have to use this in politics and how we can uh, push our agenda forward. Okay. Now he says we have to respond on the street. We have to go and we have to try to then they ask, what are you saying, what is the difference, the whole reason that we have to operate only within the limits of our democracy, within the confines of our democracy, he says. That is a extraordinary conversation, and the conversation beautifully ends with one person saying that, shut the fuck up, there is a guy who is dying. This is not the time to sit and talk about all these things. All great points. பட் அதுல அவர் சொன்னதை வச்சு எனக்கு வந்து ஐ ஃபெல்ட் லைக் this guy is slightly more, he could be exaggerating. He could be exaggerating what exactly happened, is what I felt.
Right.
um, okay, any other points, guys, or anything else that you want to talk about?
So for me, as Vijay mentioned, the editing part that worked very well for me. In most of the scenes, it will be like they'll be showing one person will be opening the door. The next scene, immediately he'll open and come back with some answers or so. They didn't show the timeline, what went, all those. So that worked very well for me. Okay, they are cutting it, and but the story is not affected because of it.
True. That is a great. I mean, I love some of the camera movements of that era, which is you will
Yeah,
see a sudden close up, and the some of the camera movements were beautiful. I loved it. It
yeah.
just
One common was like it will start with a close up and then it will track with a
exactly
wide
See
landscape.
the scene where
That
exactly
was common.
the doctor comes in, they'll show a building, the top, then end of that, the car will be coming in and someone walking out of it. Then it will go close up. So it's like they showed you everything, the feel of it, and it was really good.
yeah. It reminded me the coloring was it reminded me so much of a Buñuel film. I don't know which one we watched. Vikram, we discussed the bourgeoisie film or the other one.
Bourgeois film mostly it been brown. I don't think that is the film. That's the film
Ah,
we are talking about.
the other one we discussed it in our the same
Unchen and Lu short film.
like, the one where no the one where it's the same character is portrayed by two actresses. அவரோட ஃபேமஸ் படம்டா நம்ம லைட்ஸ் ஆன்ல டிஸ்கஸ் பண்ண படம்.
That lip thing, right?
எனக்கு எனக்கு ஞாபகம் இல்ல படம் பேரு. தட் ஃபிலிம்
இதுவா that obscure object of desire அது
that obscure object of desire. எனக்கு நிறைய நிறைய வந்து அந்த ஃபிலிம் மேக்கிங் aspects of it, right? The camera movements, the colors, it kind of reminded me so much of Louis Buñuel.
This director, I think we should watch more film of his. I am also not knowing him anything, but he looks like an interesting person.
யா கண்டிப்பா எனக்கும் வந்து நான் I was like okay we definitely have
I'm
to.
more curious about how he would be making a non-political film. He looks like a deeply opinionated political guy, but we should see how this film should be. Sans
Yeah.
politics.
Have you guys watched Oliver Stone's JFK? Give it try
JFK full form. What is it?
JFK is John F. Kennedy. So it's a film about the
Oh,
assassination of JFK. Now it's a story of one senator or congressman, I don't know. He tries to do a parallel investigation where he feels like the establishment, similar to what we saw in Z, right? The establishment had a role in the death of JFK. Is the kind of um, um, the premise of that film and what the film tries to, but he would not be able to prove it. He would not be able to prove it. Sorry for the spoilers because I know
it's fine. It's fine.
it's just a
It's again like based on real events only, right?
real events and everything that happened. It is that guy tried, but he could not prove any of that. So it just remains as a conspiracy theory only. So
His films are good. His films, no matter even if it tries something conspiracy, right? It will not be gimmicky. He makes proper organic films, and it's good because it's long. It's all 3 hours. So you will have that laid back feel of seeing a history unfold in front of you. It will not be lesson preachy and all. I love his films. That's what I was saying initially, right? Oliver Stone's films are very good. I loved Platoon a lot for an anti-war film, but his political films are very good.
So
yeah.
regarding the political films, I'm kind of person who don't know what is left, what is right, what is communism, all this. So in this movie, it's just the people beat someone to death. So they are the wrong person. He's power kind of. That's it. So after coming to the session only, it's like okay, this means this. okay, they are good, they are bad, kind of.
I think that is the beauty of great directors. That whether whether we get the history or not, still
Yeah.
it should get.
Yeah. See, it doesn't see the left right spectrum. So I'll quote my uncle. My uncle says that the left right spectrum is always relative. Okay, so for someone who is on the far left, right, let's say a Naxal group or Maoist, right, for them, even a center left person like Communist Party of India or Communist Party of India Marxist is right. Okay, it's right. They're against them also. Okay, now you for similarly you take someone on the ideological extreme far right. You take something like a militant Hindu Magasabha or the other RSS affiliated organizations, right? For them, if BJP takes a slightly center right position and talk what instead of whatever they are talking now, if they try to take a centrist position, right, they will start. They will say that BJP has become a left party now.
Mm.
So
Yeah.
so it's all relative. Okay, so in traditional aspects, it used to be like um, the people on the left were pacifist, anti-war. They are pro farmers, pro workers, and all that. Okay, now the people on the right were pro monarchy. They were pro industrialist, pro capitalist. They are for war. Those kind of things, but that spectrum has blurred a lot over the years because you will see something like in every aspect, governments and political parties have taken different kind of thing. You take DMK closer to home. You take a DMK as an example. DMK is a socially left. Okay, but you take economically they are right because they favor construction of the special economic zones and giving tax breaks to tax exemptions to corporates who employ these many people in Mahindra city and all that. So that you take nuclear energy as an example. I'll just end it with that. Nuclear energy, if you see, there are a lot of the left parties are okay for the Kudangulam nuclear plant. Okay, the Communist Party of India and Communist Party of India Marxists are okay for that because that was opened with the tie-up with Russia. Okay, but they are against the Indo-US nuclear deal because it is a deal signed with the US.
Okay. Mm.
I mean, take away
Yeah.
their let's just keep aside um the nonsensical nature of the stance that they are taking. Okay, let's just take it away. But you'll see how much that left right thing has blurred. So it's just issue based stance. So this film is from an era where these kind of nuances were not there. It was still based on a traditional understanding of the left and right. Now it is very hard to brand one person as left or one person calling himself left or right because it's all relative. It's all the only thing that we can take a stand on is okay. I trust in the you can be a democratic person. That's it. Beyond that, it's very hard to consider yourself as because you take a stand on one issue. On another issue, you will take a completely different stand. Now it's not wrong to take like that. It's just our political opinions, right? We are absolutely free to take that kind of stance, but the spectrum has really been blurred in over the years.
Mm. Okay.
But yeah, the most important thing is like Vikram said, a great filmmaker can make you enjoy the film irrespective of whether you know the politics or not. That is the beauty of this film. I have no idea about Greek politics, but this film made me, because it's the 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 specifics will change, but the broader context is going to remain the same. You
House bar,
can
nobody out.
okay. Okay, so that's the thing. Anything else you guys want to add?
Your opinion, it is not related anyway, not useful for the discussion. I don't like the doctor's wife hairstyle at all. Whenever I see her face, I was like, is that a cut? What has she done with the hair here? So
Yeah, I think it's a more that 1960s hairstyle, right?
yeah, but
அது
even the
பேரு- அது
other
பேரு
girls,
தெரியல.
even their dressing was so cute and their dressing, everything was fine except this lady, and even her dress and everything, I'm fine with it. Her hairstyle, I was like,
சரி, எனக்கு அதனாலதான் நான் வந்து கேட்டேன். அந்த 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 ஒய்ஃப் கேரக்டர் வந்து அவங்க யா ஐ ஜஸ்ட் டிட் நாட் அண்டர்ஸ்டாண்ட் தட் லேடி அட் ஆல். கொஞ்சம் ரொம்ப அவங்க வந்து அவங்களோட ஆக்சுவல் ஒப்பீனியனை வந்து வெளில காமிக்காம ரொம்ப அண்டர் பிளே பண்ணியிருந்த மாதிரி எனக்கு வந்து தோணுச்சு. அது ஏன்னு எனக்கு எனக்கு புரியல. ஐ டி நாட் அண்டர்ஸ்டாண்ட் அ லாட் அபவுட் தட் கேரக்டர், அண்ட் ஹிஸ் பர்சனல் லைஃப் வாஸ் அ வெரி பிளரி ஒன். ஐ வாஸ் நாட் அது அது ஏன் அப்படி பண்ணாங்க அப்படிங்கிறது வந்து எனக்கு எனக்கு தெரியல. தெர் ஆர் லாட் ஆஃப் left activists in the world who are accused of adultery, and not that the right activist is not performing any adultery, but it's just the left activists adultery really comes out in the open because everyone uses that against them. To அதனாலதான் நான் வந்து my first question to you was, did it make a difference to how you perceive that character, or how you thought of that character? அதான் வந்து நான் கேட்டேன். பட் ஐ டிட் நாட் அண்டர்ஸ்டாண்ட் தட் பார்ட் அ லாட். அது
Yeah, at the end when he's running and he's telling it to her, and she didn't give that kind of, I don't know, convincing
yeah,
expression
kind
of,
of
I
not
don't know what she was
that's just
what she was
yeah.
what she was making out of that and all that. Yeah.
No,
So,
who wrote the plot in Wikipedia, they have written it as that she knows that this is what is coming, that she's just surprised that this happened. So it's just she trying to say that, oh really, okay, I'm not still believing that something is wrong, and then she is proved right by, I think she has an inherent pessimism. I guess if we have to make some kind of an assumption about that character, right? I think she has a bit of pessimism about her, about this whole thing. So that is the reason why I think she's taking a um, uh, that kind of thing. But I think that actor, yeah, I was also not convinced by that actor.
okay.
there were
Okay.
in Wikipedia they were saying that two stars, two actors, they were very known faces but used very underwhelming. I think
Yeah.
she is also one. I think,
Okay.
and the another person is the colonel's deputy. I think deputy colonel, right? Who was
Oh,
who was I'm trying to reference it.
Meet him in the car.
Just he was below the colonel. Yeah, that's what he was
okay.
always with. That guy.
Okay. For me, the character was the guy who comes as photographer, right? So he's the hero of Cinema Paradiso. So I was very surprised to know that fact. I was like, சம்மந்தமே
Hero,
இல்லாம
you
இருக்கு.
mean the last who comes and sits in the
Yeah,
theater?
yeah,
Oh,
that guy. It's that guy only. The guy who sits and watches the film and cries, right? That guy only.
yeah.
The film director. So
Wow.
that was very surprising. So then I realized that, okay, Cinema Paradiso came, I think it came late 80s or mid 90s, right? Mid 90s only it released, right?
It is, yeah.
So yeah, it would have been possible 20 years, 20, 25 years later. only, right? So I was very that was the surprising part of this film. Okay, fine. Now there is a connection that I can cherish. Yeah, awesome, guys. Probably on that note, we can end the session. So next week we'll be discussing the Tamil film Uriyadi. So it'll be a fun discussion. I'll ensure that I come with the same red color for that also.
என்ன genre?
உரியடி பார்த்தது இல்லையா
Really,
நீ?
one or two.
One
One,
only.
one.
One
Okay,
தான். One தான். The good one.
என்ன genre? என்ன why red?
ஓ போய் பாரு. பாரு.
Okay. நான் ஜிகர்தண்டாவே
Again, political.
பார்த்தவன். I never watched ஜிகர்தண்டா before our session, right? So,
This will be a good watch. பாரு. Okay, cool guys. Have a great rest of the week, and we'll catch you all next week.
thank you.
Bye bye.
Bye.
Yeah. Bye bye. Thank you.